Hey, so a lot of people have been asking me information about this Datsun, and I'm going to start out with a shell. I thought I could get more information into a video. Um, Basically, it's a full sandblasted, seam welded shell painted in epoxy primer to stop it was rusting from rusting while I was working on it, but it still does need significant metal fab, so it isn't actually like ready wasn't ready for primer per se. I just knew it was such a long-term project. The whole thing would rot out if I didn't get some primer on it. Um, I'll start at the front and I'm just gonna work my way back. Needs, I would call this the apron. Needs the apron completely fabricated. It doesn't even have anywhere to bolt a fender on right now. Front, right at the front, never been crashed. Pretty much rust free. The front lower valence is in a pretty good shape. Like, it hasn't been sandblasted, but it doesn't need any holes welded up. So then the frame has, you can see there's one spot in the frame that's been cut out due to rust. The front of it is good, pretty good. I'll get this intercooler out of here. I was thinking of selling it as a bare shell plus all, like a rolling shell, plus all the brake parts, all the body kit parts, and then you can deal with driveline because I wasn't sure how committed you're to be to KA, but that's what the price is. But if you love the KA and then you want to pay me a couple extra bucks to throw the KA in or make me an offer with the KA and the trans, that's there too. I was just gonna pull them out and sell them because I thought this car would be really fucking hard to sell, and the KA and the trans might be easier. Custom motor mounts, truck leaf spring bushings. They're actually polyurethane aftermarket leaf spring bushings. And that, yeah, it's a KA. You can see that alternator's off a crashed car. That it's a KA with a stock oil pan, and it's gonna need a lot of cutting for the exhaust and the firewall and a custom throttle pedal and assembly. It has a custom braking clutch pedal assembly, which put the master cylinders going backwards with Willwood. It's a Willwood assembly, but then that's mounted to a custom assembly that makes it fit the car, if that makes sense. And it's probably going to be running remote reservoirs, figuring out where that is. But this is just going to be a smooth panel, which is going to give you lots of room to do all your turbo stuff if that's what you want to do. But yeah, your cylinder 4 exhaust port is like where your fucking knee is, so you're going to need to do some custom work to the firewall. But I have sat in a chair and there's lots of foot room. It's actually not where your knee is. I definitely lied. Your feet sit like right here. So the exhaust port is in front. So it's not actually just visually inspecting. It's not actually creating like it's not going to make your body get hot. It's just forcing you to build a custom throttle linkage. That's it. This area is fucking ugly. But I mean, like, it's not like hard. I just replaced the whole floor pan. I inset steel box tube fully stitch welded to the floor pan for a high strength seat brace that doubles as a transmission mount. And you can see like the weld quality, like that's pretty much the weld quality throughout if it's going like thin sheet metal. I mean, like, you're dealing with something. You don't have to seam seal to cover up a bunch of welds. You don't have to Bondo it. I mean, like, you look at the cage, that's probably one of the ugliest welds on the cage. We'll just gloss over that. You look at the cage, those ones are typical. It's pretty much all like that, honestly. Because the floor pan was cut out too, so I was able to weld the top. And you can see I painted with a self-etching Chromax primer before I brought the cage back into place. And look at that tightness of fit. You will see there actually is a gap between the cage and the roof there. It's just professional as fuck. That's all there is to that. Symmetrical as fuck. You got your A-pillar bars. They look fucking perfectly dialed. Everything Very fucking good there. SCCA legal, except for it doesn't have any intrusion bars. You got to put a bar. This, I wasn't sure if I was gonna tub it, so I didn't put any intrusion bars yet. Was gonna mock up with tire sizes and shit like that. That's the only missing bar to make it legal, and then those bars need to get welded back there. That's the only weld to make the cage legal that's missing. But I was gonna put that in later because then it wouldn't be in the way from me working back there. And the reason behind that is to weld it all at once, because why set up my position to crawl in there to weld twice? There's so much. The cage is sick. Oh, another cool feature, the subframe bolts directly to the plate of the roll cage through the stock mounting, so it's still exactly the same as stock, but except way stronger because it's bolting to the cage. There's the subframe. Yes, there's supposed to be a frame under there, and it's not supposed to be touching the floor. I put it up 3/4 of an inch because the car is so reinforced anyways. I can kind of just cut out whatever the fuck I want at this point, and I was going to weld in a little reinforced piece on the top. So this area, you can see the diff is also great. Like, the whole shit, the fucking whole suspension on this car is, on the back, is raised up 3/4 of an inch. That's giving you really favorable control arm geometry at a 3-inch ground clearance with not these tires, but these sick Enkis. I do have a full set of Enkis. Only blemish on all 4 of them is this weld right there. Front, custom knuckles by Troy Armish Racing. It's got the tie rods there. It's got the bump steer space. Does it? Yeah, there's a bump steer spacer there. This setup is basically like very similar to the B sedans that would have been racing in Trans Am. It would include raising the inner pickups by an inch, which I think involves cutting part of the motor mount plate that's in there as well. Rust metal fabrication up here near the bumper mount, so there's some more there for sure. But yeah, like, I mean, if you're as committed as I was, that rust isn't that big of a deal, because I fucking welded the entire floor pan in from another car, which involved breaking this. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know. I was very motivated at one time. Quarter panels. So this is one of the biggest spots of the body that needed a visual welded repair. Sorry, there's an axle in the way right now, but that was rusty, and now it's not. You can see that the welding was done in a way to make minimize distortion, so it doesn't look like shit, and you'll never know that this is rust repaired. I mean, there's access to the inside. There's paint on the inside. You can see the inside of the weld. There's a complete lack of porosity on the weld. I mean, for what we're welding, for the inside to look like that looks pretty fucking good. This is professional ass restoration shit on where it is done. It's just not the whole thing's done. It's fucking tubbed. The tub is only half welded out. The quarter panel's widened by half an inch sneakily during the process of tubbing. That's creating way more clearance for fitting lots of tire if you're wanting to go big power, combined with moving the motor back. That's trying to get weight to the back, big tire to the back, and big traction. That's the goal. And then those flares there will make it not look like poop. It's a B sedan kit. If you look at the B sedans, Troy Armish, like clones of the B sedans, that's the kit I have. That's the lip I have back there. It's the B sedan lip. It's definitely the best kit for these that I've seen. It's old school. I fucking don't know. Oh yeah, you need to cut the fucking back off. I have another back part. Yeah, this is like this. But I cut my other car that I crashed in the front. I cut it off here. So all you got to do, quote unquote, all you got to do, I know, is basically cut underneath this lip and then make a seam in here where you don't see it, so you don't have to fix it as much. It was how I would do it. That might fuck up your trunk fitment though, so maybe you want to do something a little different. But I definitely run the seam on this edge some way, and definitely use the trunk a lot. Really be fitting that trunk. You can see though, it's fucked. But by making that seam here, then probably right around in this corner, you can weld the back of my other car onto this one. And oh hey, look, there's the mustache bar, the custom mustache bar, just sitting in a random battery box in the back. I'll show you this because it's, fuck, I gotta climb. There's too much shit in this fucking shop. So as far as like the work that is done on the swaps and stuff, for stuff that so this would be like my mustache bar. So this is my custom rear differential mount. It's just an honest piece of how I build shit that is gonna live under a car and never gonna get seen and get painted. It's actually not as pretty as I remembered it, but it is definitely fucking solid and doesn't look like shit. And that's the same with the transmission mounts. It's the same with everything that's done. Same with, like, you can pick any weld, it's good. So it needs continuation of work. Yeah, I'll go outside and see if I can get some pictures of some body panels.